What's up, guys? All right, good night. How you all doing? Happy Friday night. Happy gardening. Happy Friday night. Shout out to everyone. How you guys doing tonight? Hope you guys having a beautiful night. Yes. What's going on? What's going on? Welcome everyone. Welcome. Yeah. All right, guys. So tonight we're gonna talk about moon planting. Moon planting is planting by the moon. Planting by the moon. If you understand, if you understand the benefit of planting by the moon, you will always want to plant by the moon. And it's a very interesting thing. It's a very interesting thing. Because you know what? I remember as a little boy, you know, growing up, and my father used to always tell me about the moon. My brother also used to tell me about the moon as well. Tell me about the moon and planting by the moon and the benefit of planting by the moon. And you know what is so thing? Because in them times, there wasn't no books. There wasn't no books that you could read and look in and see the days when to plant. They know in them time gone by. They know. It's like they know. And it's now I'm getting to understand the whole thing because they know when to plant because they look at the moon. They look at the new moon. They look at the half moon. They look at the full moon. They look at everything when come on the moon. And they learn. They learn when it's good time to plant, when it's good time to weed up your garden, when it's good time to harvest. They learn all these things. And they did not learn this in a book. They learn this naturally from experience. And, you know, my father used to always tell me about the moon. And the thing is, the good thing about it is, when a planting day approach or approaching, you might either get rain on that same day, or you might get rain the day after, or you might get rain the day before. And when I realize, how accurate they were in them times as a little boy, how accurate they were. Because they will plant, they will go out today and you will see the plant up the land. Next thing you see rain start tumbling down, falling down, start soaking up the earth. Or you might even see the rain come the day before or the day after. And I've learned these things and I've seen their results. And you know what? Today now, years pass by, and now I understand now, and I'm seeing the great benefit of moon planting, of planting by the moon. The thing about it is, when you entwine, with nature, like it send a signal to you to let you know, okay, today is a planting day. Every time a planting day approaching, if I'm busy and I'm not thinking about it, something come to me and tell me, remember, tomorrow is a planting day. Something come to me and tell me, remember, tomorrow is a planting day. And I guarantee you, rain coming that day or the day after. So this is how serious it is. You see, we ignore the moon. We more look to the sun because the sun give the energy to the plant. We more look to the rain because the rain water the plant. But what we don't look at, we don't look at the moon. Remember, everything connected. Everything has its purpose. Sometimes you hear a thunder crack and a heavy thunder and a lightning strike. Sometimes these things recharge the soil. These things charge up your soil, getting the soil ready. So moon planting is important. Moon planting gives you a lot of benefit. You just have to know the days. You just have to know the days. Like I'm going to tell you, tomorrow it's a beautiful planting day. To anyone who listening to this live, whether now or tomorrow or after, tomorrow is a beautiful planting day. Get out there and put some plants in the ground. Tomorrow is a beautiful planting day, guys. All right? Beautiful planting day. Moon planting it works with your whole crop. It works from the day you plant. It works when you take care of your plant. It works with when you harvesting your plants, harvesting your food. You got to study the moon. You can't ignore the moon. There's books out there, but you personally have to study the moon. Hey, good evening, so said, how you doing? Good to see you. Happy gardening. How you doing? Good night. Yes, it's been a long time. It's been a long time. Good to see you. Good to see you. Wow, good to see you. Thank you for coming through. I appreciate you. All right, good to see you, sis. All right. Yeah, I'm talking about our moon planting by the moon. And tomorrow is a beautiful day to plant above ground crop. Above ground crop is plants that produce food above ground, like beans, okra, pepper, anything that produce above ground. Tomorrow is a beautiful day to plant. Yes. And the connection, you this is what I keep saying. Let me see. Doing well. Thanks for asking. All right, all right. Yes, I've been doing pretty well. I've been doing pretty good. Thank you so much. I've been doing pretty well, and I'm glad you're doing well as well. All right. Yes, I know. Busy. When you're busy, you're busy. I agree. If you're busy, you got to do what you got to do. All right. All right. When you got stuff to do, you got to take care of it. So that's wonderful. Yes, I've been doing pretty good. This is garden season, and yes, I'm pretty busy at this moment in the garden. I'm getting out there tomorrow and I go in and plant some okras, peppers. I'm going to plant more peppers. Yes, so yes, guys. So, like I was saying, tomorrow is a beautiful day to plant above ground crop. Now, the best time, one of the best time to plant is when the earth is cool, when the soil is cool. The moon have a connection with the soil, just like the sun, just like the rain. And there's when that soil is cool is the best time to plant because when you plant when the soil is cool, nice and cool, the plants, the young baby plants strive better and faster. So it's a certain atmosphere, a certain temperature that the moon give out. The moon give out that signal. So that nice, beautiful temperature, just the right temperature for these baby plants, these baby roots to strive from. And when they get that type of temperature, they just connect because you got to understand everything is a connection. Everything is a connection. And if everything connect to each other, your plants will always be flourishing. Your plants will always produce in abundance. Your garden will always look healthy once everything connected. Meaning the sun, the water from the rain, the moon, and you and the plants. Once all of you connected, your garden will always be flourishing. But I'm gonna say this, and I'm not knocking anyone who use different type of stuff in their garden. Everyone gotta do what they gotta do. All right? So I'm not knocking anyone. You do what you have to do. No, you got to remember, nature is natural. Nature is natural. Nature is not artificial. Okay? Nature is natural. So nature works best with natural. You see what I'm saying? With natural, like you have a natural gardening, nature works better in that form. Like the insect, the earthworm, the bacteria that you need in your soil. It works better if your garden is natural. No, sometimes you add a lot of things in your garden and that help separate that energy, that connection you're supposed to have in your garden. This connection is what keeps your garden right, your soil right. Because now you have all the bacteria, the earthworm, all that you need in your soil. Plus, you have these beautiful herbs. Just pop weed, they call them weed, just popping up in your garden and just releasing all these nutrients in your soil. The connection is beautiful. When you get that connection, your jobs become easier. You're gonna start to see mushroom growing up in your garden. You're gonna start to see big, beautiful, healthy earthworms in your garden. Some people gotta go and buy worms to put in the compost pile. But if you do it natural, you wouldn't have to do that. Once you walk with nature, everything gonna fit in, everything gonna walk in its place, everything gonna do what it gotta do. When we start to include artificial with nature, that's when situations start occur. That's when the soil start getting messed up. That's when you start realizing that your crop is not producing the way it should or the way you feel it should. If you follow the moon, the sun, the rain, sometimes you could look in the clouds and you could see how dark the cloud is. The cloud is so dark that you know it's heavy. You know it's about to rain. When you see that and you have plants ready to plant, you get out there and you put them in the ground. You plant them because the rain is about to come. The soil is about to soak. So you got to have this kind of thinking, this kind of understanding, this kind of awareness. Gardening is being aware of all elements, the sun, the rain, the moon, the plants, the earth. Hello, girl, dad, how you doing? How you doing? Thank you for being here. What's going on? Yes. Yes, guys. In gardening, you have to connect the all the elements in the garden, all got to connect and it make your job easier. You got to be aware. It's about awareness, where you are aware of when it's going to rain, when you are aware of it's going to be pretty hot today, when you are aware of the new moon, when you are aware of the full moon, when you are aware of the quarter moon, when you are aware of the three-quarter moon. Hey, sweet Tom, how you doing? It's about being aware and paying attention. Once you understand the elements and the job the elements does in your garden, your job become easier. When I tell people, when I talk about gardening and the simpleness of gardening and how you don't have to go out there and spend a bunch of money on containers, expensive containers. Yes, expensive containers. Use what you got, guys. Use what you got. It's not about the container, it's the production. All right, girl. Dad, thank you, thank you. No problem. Thank you, no problem. Yes. So the elements is important to understand the elements and the connection. Okay? Once you understand these things, gardening becomes easier for you. When you understand how important the buds to your garden, when you understand how important these bugs are to your garden, listen me, many of these bugs have their purpose in your garden. Many of them are there to protect our food, but we don't know that. We try to get rid of them. We get spray buckle and start spraying them. They are there to fight off other pests from your food. They are there to protect your food. But what we do, we try to get rid of them because we don't like them and we feel they're trying to know. That's why you got to know. You got to know the difference. You got to know what is protecting your garden and what is not. The bugs protect your garden. Many of these bugs you see sitting on your plant, they protect your garden too. Some of them chase away unwanted bugs and parasites. The bugs help clean our garden. The bugs help eat some of these parasites we don't need. Then we also, within our soil, we also have some beautiful herb. Why don't you think these herb grows up in our garden every year? Think about it, guys. Why do you think these herbs grows up in your garden every year? And they come every year. They make it their business to come up in your garden only in the spring. Why you think that? These herbs holds a lot of benefit. They hold a lot of nutrients. within them. They release a lot of nutrients. So when they come up early spring, before we're ready to plant, many of them we could eat them. Many of them we could put in our compost. Many of them we could use and make tea, but we don't know that. So what we do, we get rid of them, and some people spray them. These things adds nutrients to your soil. They release, while they're growing, they're releasing through their roots, they're releasing. There's plants designed to really grows in the garden to release nutrient to feed the soil. That's their job. Their job is to feed your soil. This is why I used to, from time to time, I used to like to pull up all the weed out my garden and throw them in my compost pile because I want my garden to look clean. But the more I garden is the more I understand. These weeds feed your soil. These weed release nutrients in your soil, back into your soil. So sometimes, what I do sometimes, I'll take a machete and I'll just trim them. Trim them, but their roots is still in the soil. So even though I trim them, they're still gonna grow. But when we pull them up, it cannot release any nutrients, so because we pull them up. But what I do, I trim them and allow them to continue releasing their nutrients. And these plants, guys, you gotta know if you weed in your garden, you gotta know when to weed your garden. Because there's a certain time when they release that nutrients into the soil. Everything is connected. Everything is connected. The moon, the sun, the rain, the earth, everything is connected. So when it's released, if you pull it up before it's released, then look what we're doing. And we've been doing this for years. And then we ask ourselves sometimes why our soil is so messed up. Because guess what? We don't trust nature. We trust something somebody create or put in a bag for us. That's what we trust. But we don't trust nature naturally. You see, sometimes this same weed you might pull up in your garden or you might trim. You could add these same weeds in a little pile, or sometimes you could throw them around your fruit trees, or sometimes you could just throw them in your raised bed. Just leave them in the raised bed and let them break down and feed your soil. But a lot of people prefer ignoring nature and its benefits. And we run to other things. But no, when other things start doing, other things start messing up our soil, start getting rid of our earthworms, start destroying our beneficial insect, start destroying our all these beneficial bacteria that we have in our soil. Destroy them, because what we do, we spray them and we do all kind of stuff with them because we don't want a weed growing up in our yard. And then we expect to have a healthy garden in that form. The more natural we do it, is the more healthier our soil gonna be. Some people, there's a lot of people who dealing with clay soil. Clay soil, you gotta know how to handle clay soil. And clay soil is a very rich soil. Clay soil is rich, but you gotta know how to handle clay soil because you cannot allow clay soil to get stick together. You cannot allow that. You got to be breaking it, and then sometimes you could add some leaf, grass clipping, the same weed you pull up or you trim. You could add that and mix that up in your clay soil. So that leaf you add in the clay soil gonna block it from sticking to each other. You see what I'm coming from? That leaf gonna start to mix in with the clay soil, and then it's gonna block it from sticking together and compacting itself together and become brick hard. So once you understand how to deal with clay soil, you will see a whole different something, because clay soil is what I was dealing with. I was dealing with red clay soil, but I changed that. And I have so much videos to show you guys the work that I did to change the soil from red rocky into such a healthy soil that produce anything you plant in the soil grow and produce in abundance. Anything. So once you understand the connection between you, your plants, the moon, the rain, the sun, the wind, once you understand that, trust me, your garden will be flourishing. And I'm going to tell you this again, too, guys. I know some people might not want to hear this, but this is truth right here. Leave the negativity out of your garden. Your garden is your sanctuary. Your garden is where you plant and grow your food. It's supposed to be a pure place with only positivity. Your garden's supposed to be a place of peace where you could go and sit down and find peace within yourself. So when you're going into your garden, leave the negativity outside, leave the negative energy, shake it off. Don't take it in your garden. Be positive. You have to carry a positive energy between these plants. The more positive you be, the more great results you receive. The more you will understand your plans. The greater reward you will receive. Connecting yourself to the soil, connecting yourself to the plant, but it gotta be in a positive way. And you cannot pollute the soil. and expect great result. It's like you throw mud in clean water that you're supposed to drink and expect it's supposed to be clean and healthy for you. It's like you throw poison in your drinking water and expect it not to harm you. Well, guess what? Wake up. You got to wake up out of that dream. If that's how you think, you got to wake up out of that dream. You can't put poison in your drinking water and expect it not going to do anything to you. Treat your plants them right. Treat them natural. I refuse to add anything from wherever around my plants and in my garden when I know better. There's a lot of people I understand that don't have, like the land where they could go and get the leaf and whatever. But you know what? Sometimes you got to make the effort. You got to make the effort into gaining what you want sometimes. Because nobody going to do it for you. You got to put in the work. Okay, I'm trying to grow my food a certain way, and I'm going to do what it takes to get it that way, get it that form of growing it healthy. It don't make sense if what I'm consuming have no nutrition inside it or is not nutritious. It does not make no sense if what I'm consuming is not nutritious. Why I'm going to say that is, especially when you growing for yourself. No, you growing for yourself. Many of us, we like quick fix. We like to do things a certain way and get it done fast, right? Do things a certain way but sometimes things works on a time. And when it works on a time, nothing you do gonna make it done faster. All it's gonna happen, you're gonna be messing it up instead of helping the situation. Because you're rushing. Instead of you take your time and do it how you know it's supposed to be done, or the way you think is the better way. No, we want the fast and easy way. But guess what? Sometimes the fast and easy way is not beneficial to us. Because many people I know that tells me, oh, planter, my soil is not my soil ain't really good, and my soil is, poor, and I think I gotta go and get some of these things from the store to add to my soil. And I'm saying, what's wrong with your soil? Yeah, man, it's poor, man. You could see. How you know it poor? I'm asking these questions. How do you know that your soil is poor? Automatically, some people have rich soil in their backyard. But the mindset is, I gotta get these things or my soil ain't good. You see, and this is sad. This is really sad because you have rich soil in your backyard, but you believe that you're going to have to buy certain things to add in your soil or it ain't rich. And that is really sad. So I had also say, well, how you know it ain't rich? Well, you know, the backyard and, you know, yeah, you could look at it. And I'm saying, well, the only how you could know your soil is poor, you got to plant something, grow something, and then you're going to see the result you get from that. Then you could able to elaborate more on whether your soil really need improve or it's good soil. So they asked me, so what you saying? I don't need to get anything. I said, no, try your soil. Try your soil just like that and see. And guess what? The plant is a family. The plant in the natural soil just like that without even adding any manure, and the garden was successful. This is what I'm trying to say. We have beautiful soil in our backyard, but we underestimate it. Why? Because of the mindset and because of what we heard. And, you know, and then there's a lot of people out here who talking about some of these products, and where the result, you know, hey, Pop Farm, what's up? How you doing? Yes. Where is the result? You see what I'm saying? I grow my food natural, but I show the result. I show from when I plant them, I show when they're growing, I show the whole process. Because I want people to see there's a way that you could do this and be successful. This is why I always say, as a gardener, as a new gardener, you want to do gardening, right? Think about what you want to do. Think about what you want to grow. Think about how you want to grow. Think about it, and then you decide the type of gardeners you follow. Because there's a bunch of information out there that will confuse you. So you got to choose what type of gardening you want to do, and then you follow the people who could get you there. I'm not telling you, oh, follow me. What I'm saying, follow the people who could get you where you want to be. But first, you need to know what type of gardener you want to be. Do you want to grow natural, or do you want to use anything out there? And you decide, because there's so much information, and then there's a lot of people sharing information, and they barely garden. They barely grow anything, but they're sharing information. How they doing that? They Google information, but you got to remember, Google is a place where a lot of people post information, right? A lot of people post information there. Some people go to Google for information. Nothing wrong with that. Don't get me wrong. Nothing wrong with that. But hear my point. Some people go to Google for information. Nothing wrong with that. Some people learn through experience. You see what I'm saying? Some people learn to experience, and then some people share their experience with you so you could see what they're doing. When there's a lot of people who just Google it, life, Google information, and then they come and present it to you, like they know what they're talking about. No, why I'm saying this, right? I as a guy, I am a guy who grow massive pepper trees, right? I grow my last pepper tree last year was 8 feet tall, right? I grow pepper tree 8 feet tall, and then these pepper produce in abundance. This pepper will start to produce from March, April, from April, May, and never stop until the frost, right? But there's someone who telling me how I should grow pepper. So now I asked the guy, I say, do you have a garden? No. But Google say, no, you don't have a garden, you're not planting anything, but you want to tell the guy who grow 8 foot bell pepper tree, 7 foot pepper tree, that produce in abundance, you telling him how to plant. And this is what I do. This is what I don't understand. So you got to be careful out there because there's real information out there, and there's people who just Googling other people's opinion out there. And then they come and present it to you like they know what they're talking about, which they don't, because they're not growing anything. You see what I'm coming from? So what I'm saying is, look at, think for the new gardeners, think what type of gardener you want to be. Think about that. And then you decide to walk your journey. It's easy to get distracted out here. So you got to be focused. And when you make up your mind, what type of gardening you want to do, you got to have discipline and you got to stay focused. The reason for that is because you will get confused with the amount of information. Many people show you all different type of product that they're using, but they never show you the result. You see what I'm saying? So you got to be mindful of these things, especially the new gardeners. You got to be mindful of these things. If you're telling me about something, let me see the result. Let me see you use this. Let me see the result from it. So then we could move on. Now, when we look at gardening, I take gardening serious because this is how I eat. My garden provide. So I take it serious. This is why I take pride in what I'm growing and what I'm putting around my plant. Because plants absorb, meaning whatever you put around that root, the plant is sucking it up. Whatever you put around the root of the plant, it's sucking it up. Whatever you spray, the plant with is also sucking it in. So you got to be mindful of these things. So if you feel like this is what we got to look at. And the crazy thing about it is these people tells you what the side effects are. You see what I'm saying? They tell us what's the side effect, what it could cause, but we still gracefully forget what they say and we continue using them. Like I was now saying earlier, you cannot put poison in a cup of water and drink it and expect nothing ain't gonna happen to you. It's the same thing if you take stuff and put around your plant and spray your plant with them. Don't believe there's not side effect. Don't believe that. No, could you imagine? Could you imagine you spraying something for get rid of bugs, right? You also spraying something to kill the weeds. What do you think that gonna do to you? I mean, just tell me here. What do you think continuously using these things, spraying them? You don't have a mask on your face. You're inhaling. You're spraying and you inhaling. That going inside you. Plus, you're eating. When the plant don't absorb that in its system, push it through its fruits, push it through its vegetables. We eating that. So my health is important to me, and my family health is important to me. So if you could help or try prevent certain things from happening, why not? Why not? Why not? We complain about the food in the supermarket, but yet we're growing the same food like the supermarket. What are we complaining about then? We're using the same product around our plants, but we complain about the food. It doesn't make sense. It ain't adding up. If you conscious enough for know, boy, them a use stuff around these food where you have no control over. So if you go into the supermarket and you buying the food, okay, cool. But when you're growing it, how could we complain and we're growing it the same way? I mean, help me out here, guys. Help me out here. How could we complain about how the grain food and then we using the same thing around our plant and spraying our plant and spraying to get rid of the weeds them and all this thing getting in your soil. All this is getting in our soil. And then when the plant suck it up, the plant absorb it. Then what? We eat it. I know I'm talking to grown, intelligent people, so I ain't got to spell out everything. Hey, Lords of God, and how you doing? Thank you for being here. Yes, I'm just saying, if we're complaining about the food in the supermarket and doing the same thing, using the same thing, and spray around our plants, why are we even complaining? There's no need for complaint because you're doing the same thing. We should have more pride in growing what we grow. We should able. Hey, LP, how you doing? Thank you guys for being here. We should able to do the necessary steps to make sure the food we grow in our backyard is full of nutrition, full of vitamin, full of fiber, full of what we need, what our body need. We should take the necessary steps and make this happen. You have the opportunity to do it. So make use of the opportunity. If you want to see, for the people who don't know me or who know me, if you want to see the production of a garden that don't add nothing from the store, everything natural, please feel free to check out my channel. All right? Feel free to check out my channel and you will able to learn a lot how you could grow food and able to get mass production without using these kind of stuff. We add so much in our soil, even in the container, so much. We spray our plants. We spray the weeds that grows up in the garden because it's too much work for us to do. But yet, we want to complain about the people who growing the food. These people growing food for millions of people. So the way, okay, let me explain this a minute. Like the farmers who grow food for like the supermarket, these people grow food for millions of people. So they do what they gotta do. You see what I'm saying? They do what they gotta do. And I'm not knocking anybody, guys. I'm not knocking no one. These people do what they gotta do to able to feed millions of people. But when come to you as the backyard gardener or the container gardener or whatever, you have the ability to change something, at least for now. You have the ability to change something. If you cannot do it 100%, you have the ability to change it to a certain degree. Make use of it, guys. There's no need complaining and doing the same thing. Okay? And like I now mentioned, remember, plants absorb. They absorb through their roots, also through their body. So if you spray their roots, they absorb what you sprayed. The next thing I want to talk about again is, and guys, what I'm saying here to you, what I'm saying here to you, if it goes back to the beginning, if you understand the elements, them, if you understand the sun, if you have an understanding of the sun, the moon, the rain, the wind, the earth, the plant, and yourself, and the bugs, the birds, if you understand that, you would need all these things I'm telling you about. Because what keep happening, we pushing ourselves away from the natural to the artificial. And it's the artificial what have you using all different type of stuff. But if you do the natural, all you will have to do is maintain from time to time. Let me see. Let me see. Some crazy things are happening tonight. What is that, the chicken? But anyhow, yes, if you understand the elements and the connection, you will see you don't need these type of stuff, right? Didn't know that. Oh, really? Okay, all right. Yes. Now, let me talk about how to manure your plant or add manure, whatever you're using around your plant. Because, like I now mentioned, plants absorb. So, whatever you're using for manure or compost around your plant, always remember, plants love dirt. Always remember this. Plants love dirt. Okay? Let me see. You only need natives. Okay, all right. All right. Love of God. And all right. Okay. All right. But the problem is a lot of people neglect native soil. If they don't have other things with it, it ain't good for them. But they don't understand the benefit of the soil, not naturally. But yes, no, some people add different type of manure to their plants. Well, I personally, I only use leaf and the weeds that comes out of my garden and like tree limbs and body that fall, tree that falls when they're rotten. I use that and make a throw around my plant. I also pile up wood together and leaf and allow them to break down. That's what I feed my plant with. No, this is natural. No, I also understand. I also understand about balancing soil, balancing your soil. I understand that, and I understand the importance of balancing your soil. Exactly, LP, exactly. Balancing your soil is so important, I don't think people understand the balance in your soil. No, like I now mentioned, plants love dirt, soil. What we do, we over a period of time, we might add compost to our soil. No, your compost should never overpower your soil or your dirt. Your compost is only to help add nutrients, minerals to your soil, to help maintain your soil, not to take over. You see, I just see a lot of people growing food in like they will go to the store and they will buy the compost and just spread it out there and grow food in that. I'm not saying you cannot do that, but dirt, soil is important. You see, this is where the nutrients lives. All right. Now, when you add the compost or whatever you add, I personally let me talk about me because these kind of stuff for people use, I don't use them. So let me speak about me. No, when I add in compost around my plant, I make sure I add not too much. You know, I sprinkle a little around my plant because I never want the compost to overpower the soil, the dirt. The compost that I add should only be for help maintaining the soil, help adding a little nutrients, help keep, for the earthworms and, keep them. That's what it's for. Not to overpower. You understand? Like for instance, a lot of people use all different type of manure, but you cannot put too much because sometimes the food start tasting. The food will end up tasting like what you put it around the plant. This is why I now mention about plant absorb. So whatever you put should only be going in your raised bed for maintaining the soil, not to overpower the soil. Okay. For instance, in containers, right? In container garden, you should have, from my experience, for what I experience in container garden, you should have at least 70% of dirt, native soil, dirt in your container, and then you have maybe the 30% added. Mix it with the dirt, with the soil to help add some nutrients and mineral. That depends on what type of compost you use too. I can't say much for different type of compost because I'm only could speak for what I use, natural compost. These natural composts enhance your plant, give it such a rich taste, and give it such a rich look. You could naturally see the richness in the plant. You could naturally see the richness in the leaf. You could naturally see the richness in the production of the plants. If you want to see that, guys, like I said, check out my channel. I have about 2,000 videos on my channel. I'm showing you how to grow food natural. Okay? So if that's something you, because what I'm telling you here, I'm telling you how I grow my food. I can't speak for others. I could only speak for myself. But the result, for what I said here tonight, if you're new to this channel, check my channel out and you will see for yourself. What I'm saying makes sense. I've been doing this for a long, long time. So, yes, guys. So, go back to moon planting for a minute. No, moon planting. No, if you connect yourself with these elements in your garden, all these stuff that you hear I know talking about people using, you wouldn't be using them because you have the boards that's gonna, the butterfly on your broccoli, on your cabbage, on your um collards, on your collards. There's butterfly that flies around and they come and they lay right under the leaf and they're so smart. They know where to lay them eggs. They will lay their eggs right under the leaf and you might not even see them. But guess what? Here comes the birds that's searching for these eggs that these butterfly now lay. Because guess what? These birds have young ones they got to feed. So a good thing to help clean your garden is attracting birds to your garden. Be friendly with the birds. Let the birds be your friends. Because with the birds be your friends, it's gonna eliminate the situation where you got to find when these butterflies start laying on your cabbage and start these worms start eating on your cabbage, then they got to find yourself have to find something to get rid of them. But no, if the worms is active in your garden, what's gonna happen? The birds gonna be eating these eggs before they even turn warm to eat down your plants. So you have to create an energy in your garden. You have to create that connection in your garden that everything could works. You see, in nature, in the jungle, everything works. You see what I'm saying? Some eat some to survive. The lion, you see what I'm saying? It's the same with your garden. There's bugs that stand up there protected. Let me see. Yes. Yes. Yeah. Well, you know what? There are several people in here right now. Thank you guys for being here. I appreciate you guys. I'm gonna let you on something. If tomorrow, I'm telling you right now, if you have anything to plant, tomorrow put some stuff in the ground. Tomorrow is a beautiful planting day. Tomorrow is a beautiful planting day. If you have anything you want to plant something tomorrow. All right? Yes, moon phrase is amazing. You see, I basically learned moon phrase from my family as a little boy growing up. There's books now, but I did not learn from any book. I learn from looking at the sky, looking at the moon, looking at the heaviness of the cloud, which we all know. Every time we see the cloud get dark and heavy, we know it's rain. We know that. We are aware of that. It's the same. We should know. Every time the moon is a certain way, we should also know what's gonna take place. We gotta be entwined with nature, guys. We gotta be connected back to nature. We been taken away. We been strayed away. No, we more cling to the artificial and not the real. Once you see the moon a certain way, you should already have an understanding of what's going on. That's how the older people in older times knows a lot of things. The moon, the sun, the stars, the clouds, the wind. If you hear the wind blowing heavy, what do you say? If you hear the wind really blowing and singing, what do you say? You say it's a storm. You see where I'm coming from? These are things we know, but we got to get back to the natural. We have to understand the natural, because everything gives signal. And the signal, if we can't read the signal, how we gonna know? How we gonna know? If I'm in my garden, if I'm in my garden and I could know when someone is wrong, I could know if someone is wrong. Because the way the boards them start acting, the way the boards them start acting, from the time I hear they start acting like that, if I'm doing something, I just got to stand up. Because I already know these boards don't act like that unless. So it's about being aware, guys. It's about being aware. They give signal. So that song they're making, they're telling you something wrong. Is either something or someone wrong. That's not supposed to be wrong there. So they give off this song, this energy, this signal. We got to get back there. It's a good place to be. It's a beautiful place to be. Dealing with the natural. It's a good place to be. Yes, guys. So, all right, guys. What's going on? Thank you all for coming out tonight. I appreciate you guys for being here with me. I hope this information tonight could motivate someone. I hope this information could enlighten someone tonight. But I just got to say, man, thank you guys for coming out. Truly appreciate you guys. It's a blessing to have you guys with me here tonight. Thank you all so much. Thank you, Good Eats. Thank you, Laws of Gardening. Thank you, LP. Thank you, The Chicken. Thank you, Pop Farm. Thanks everyone for you, man, for coming out tonight. All right, thank you, Good Eats. Thank you. Yes, this is Garden Caesar, guys, and just be positive. Just be positive. When you plant something, just know, just have, just know that it's gonna become or produce in abundance. Don't ever believe it won't. And pay attention to the plants them that's not doing the best. The ones them that doing their best, leave them alone. Focus on the ones them that need your care. All right? So happy gardening, everyone. Thank you all for coming out tonight. Appreciate each and every one of you. All right. Appreciate each and every one of you. And don't forget, tomorrow, even there's one plant, put it out there. Let me see. I respect how dedicated to natural you are. Yeah. Thank you, LP. Yes, yes. If you check me out from day one, from day one, I've been talking about this. I've been gardening the same way. I've been talking the same message. I never change because I know it works. I never change because I know it works. So, yes, guys, thank you guys so much. Appreciate you guys. Don't forget, you could always check out my channel. I post video very often, at least every day. I post a video. I have container garden series going on. I also have growing massive bell pepper series going on as well. So you guys could tune in. Don't forget, I also go live every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I also do pops up from time to time. All right. So hit the notification bell so you can always be notified when I'm live because a lot of people just tell me they don't get no notification when I'm live. I understand that, but still hit the notification bell. Appreciate each and every one of you. Good night, guys. Stay blessed. Happy gardening.